morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at a bunch of secret rares that have been revealed for the upcoming Black Bolt White Flare expansion. Now, of course, at the weekend, Pokemon went and dropped the full set list. I did a bunch of videos showing you all the new cards that you need to know about from that set. But we are still missing a bunch of secret rares. And remember, in this set, every single Pokemon has an illustration rare, except for the EXs, who of course have special illustration rares. There are a lot that haven't been revealed, but hey, we got a few of them we can talk about today. So let's start off having a talk about Meloetta EX. The more I think about Meloetta EX, the more I am in favour of this card. I think this card could be an absolute powerhouse. Now, I'm not guaranteeing it, and I know it could go all wrong, but it's got an ability that says this Pokemon can attack on your first turn going first, which is clearly brilliant. And then it's got an attack that does 30 damage, and the next turn it does an extra 80. Now, there's several things I love about this. Firstly, the fact that you can attack turn 1 going first doing 30 damage. I mean, I was casting the Bologna Special Championships this weekend, and we saw Badoo, we saw Cleffa, we saw Joltik, and there are others around as well. 30 HP Pokemon. It's not like every deck is playing a huge amount of them, but they are out there. You'll get some cheeky wins with Meloetta. But then you do 110 the next turn. So, like, even if you don't get the cheeky, and let's be clear, if you get a KO on something like a Badoo, your opponent put that active because it's the only Pokemon they had, you've won the game. But if there's other Pokemon around, well, you hit 30, and you don't get a KO, but then you do 110. And especially like you go first, you do 30, your opponent has a turn but isn't able to evolve, it's their first turn, and then before they've even evolved, you got a second turn where you're hitting 110. I'm telling you, this is a useful attack. But then, of course, I told you the other day, and I know I'm not the only one to point this out, but I did tell you the other day, the translation here is not it can use the attacks written on the card turn 1 going first, it is it can attack turn 1 going first. So, Technical Machine Evolution, turn 1 going first. Again, in Bologna this weekend, we saw a bunch of players choosing to go second because they wanted that turn 1 TM Evolution. That was very, very important to them. Well, here, you can go first and get that turn 1 TM Evolution. Now, you're not going to be able to, play Arven to search out the TM Evolution, so it's still not going to be as good and as reliable. I understand all of this, but I'm telling you, this is good. I'm telling you, this is a very nice Pokemon, and the fact that it can donk is great. The fact that it can just be doing decent damage before your opponent's been evolving after getting 30 turn 1 going first is great. The fact that it can use Technical Machines turn 1 going first is great. You add this all up together, this is a very good, very useful card. It's one that I think could be absolutely awesome. And look at the artwork here. It's just Meloetta kind of standing around in a field, singing, doing its thing. Beautiful card. Not one of my absolute favourites, but a very nice card, one that I absolutely adore. But don't worry, that is not the only special art rare that has gone and been revealed, because we've also got N. N's plot, or N's scheme, or however you want to say it. And this is one of those ones where, if you play Gen 5, if you've got an affinity for Gen 5, you're going to look at this and you're going to go, oh, he's in front of the Ferris wheel, which he should be. N should be in front of the Ferris wheel. I'm assuming he's thinking about the bond between humans and Pokemon or something along those lines. But the point is, we have got a lovely special art rare of N here. And N is a very popular character. So I feel pretty confident this is going to be a card that people absolutely adore. I think it's going to be one people love. It is by Rend, who I don't believe, and I'm going to double check this, I don't believe Rend has actually done a supporter card before now. which I find super interesting because, of course, you know, they're known for doing, well, basically more realistic looking cards. And they've done some absolute belters artistically. You know, take the Furret, for instance, from Journey Together. Absolutely amazing. The Cutie Fly from Temporal Forces, I think a lot of people are going to love. But as far as I can see, and I am having a good look around here just to try and make sure, I don't think Render's actually done any supporter cards yet. So for me personally, I'm kind of digging being able to see how they approach these supporters, and I really like it. I think this is an absolutely stunning card. I think people are going to go absolutely crazy for it. And let's face it, it is still N at the end of the day. People love N. As a reminder for what the card does, you move 2 energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active. Kind of like a double energy switch, but you cannot move the energy anywhere. It has to be both from the one of your bench to the active. That's very, 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 very important. Although, as a side note, you're choosing 2 energy from the bench Pokemon, not 2 energy from one bench Pokemon. So you could potentially get 2 energy from different bench Pokemon, move them to the active here, and that would absolutely work. Which sometimes you're going to want to do. This does seem like the kind of supporter card that's going to work really, really nicely as a one-of in a deck that can go and search it out. So I'm just saying, this one seems like it could be an awful lot of fun. This is one I've got my eyes on, and I do think this is going to be a big card. For me, just being able to see how Rend approaches a supporter card makes me very, very happy. But hey, we might be out of special art rares, but we do have a couple of illustration rares as well. Like Leavanny, for instance. Now, I did show you Leavanny the other day. Now, I showed it to you in the context of Swadloon, and I was pretty clear in telling you that Swadloon was the better of the cards. But I do just want to take a second to point out the illustration rare here. It's absolutely adorable. You've got Swaddle and Swadloon off to the side looking grumpy, and then Leavanny. But then actually look at the reflection in the water. This is a proper top-tier illustration rare. Leavanny, I don't think playability-wise is a particularly good card. I'll remind you what it does in a minute. And Leavanny is not exactly a Pokemon that I've got a lot of love for or anything along those lines. But I'm telling you right now, this artwork here is absolutely phenomenal. And, you know, just to be clear, later on in the week, Thursday, we're going to have all of the illustration rares revealed because they're going to start just getting to shops. So, there will be a video later in the week where I show you all, well, 150 plus illustration rares in one video. Spare a 40-year-old pal Wassy, that video's going to be such a pain to make. I'll do it because I care, but that video's going to be such a pain to make. So do your old pal Wassy a favour here and, you know, click on that video when you see it. Leavanny's got single energy, heal 100 from all of your basic Pokemon. And then 2 energy, 90 damage, flip a coin. If heads, it does an extra 40 damage. I don't think it's a particularly good card, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. But it does have an absolutely stunning illustration rare. So at least we've got that. Like, if nothing else, that's a very cool thing, right? I think that's a very cool thing. The Swadloon, like I say, much better card. Once during your turn, heal 20 from your active Pokemon. And that is obviously a much better attack here. That one's really nice. The Leavanny, it's not good enough for a stage 2. I am sorry. Doesn't even heal all of your Pokemon. It only heals your stage 2. That honestly feels like a little bit of an insult. That it's only healing. I mean, come on. It's not even that good. If it healed all your Pokemon, all of your Pokemon, it wouldn't be that good. And yet it only heals your basics? Nah, mate. Not a fan of this at all. But, like I say, the artwork is absolutely stunning, so I think we can forgive it. And that leaves one secret rare that we can have a little bit of a look at this morning, and it is your Bisharp. Love me some Bisharp, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Bisharp's in a weird situation, of course, because back in the day, this was the end of the evolution line, so Pokemon would give us some pretty good cards. But then it got to stage 2 evolution, so Pokemon started making Bisharp a bit less good, but because King Gambit could come in and essentially pick up the slack, and you didn't want the stage 1 and the stage 2 both being awesome. But now we're in a Gen 5 set, so we can have King Gambit, but now we're left with Bisharp, and can that be any good? Well, I haven't shown you this one the other day, so this is going to be our first look at how good the card is. But the fact that I didn't show you the other day might tell you what you need to know. Obviously, single energy 40, you don't need my help translating that. And then we got 2 energy, 60 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is already damaged, you do an extra 60, 120 in total. 2 energy, 120 on a damaged Pokemon. It's not good enough. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I want it to be better, I want it to be awesome, but the reality is this is just a fairly underwhelming card. Does have a rather lovely, artwork with them all challenging each other, and your Pawniard sitting around watching in the background, which is cool. Bonus points for King Gambit being nowhere to be found because King Gambit wasn't in Gen 5, but right now, slightly disappointing. As a card, not as an artwork. Every time I see more cards from this set, this special illustration, the illustration rares, I get more and more excited. But I've talked about all that now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section, and us, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely Kool-Aid. This is the first time we're giving them a shout out on the channel. They're a new Patreon supporter, so shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.